Okay, what's going on, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy ChEDDErTraY here. This is about to be my end of the year wrap up in music discussions for it as well. What's coming up, this and that, and I got two of these going on. I got the one you guys are seeing this way. This is pre-recorded for the Facebook, YouTube, and then I got my phone right here that's live on the Live Me app with the diagonal going this way right here. So we have all this going on at once. And matter of fact, I should record this one right here. Let me see. Yeah, I might do that. Go ahead and switch this on. Alright. Continue. Alright. Go back to this. Alright. So that one's recording everything as well. Go ahead and switch on this monitor. Alright. Gotta get some extra light. I wanna go ahead and slide this over here. Okay. So, for today, let's begin with 2016 from last year, the mid of 2016, for me in music, at least. And, matter of fact, I'm going to take off these headphones really quick because these headphones are a bit tight around my head. So, yeah. Actually, no, I'll just leave them on like this. Screw it. Let me go ahead and scoot this back really quick. Alright. So, mid of 2016 was pretty fun for me in music at the most. And if you guys see me looking up right here, is because I got the cam right here, like the program slid on, which would be my right hand side, which was a great year for me in music. It was a good middle of the year for me in music of that year. Like, I've been doing this for 7 years, going on for about to be 8 years in August. At that, about to be 8 years in August at the most. And we have that middle, that second half going into that year. And I was out of music, I was out of equipment for a while because I left Creekwater White stuff for reasons. I felt though as if I was being held back, honestly. And I've done these topic discussions before and everything on my YouTube channel on Jazzy Entertainment. But for this, when it comes to music reasons, one, I didn't feel like I didn't have any creativity. Two, I felt I was unappreciated because I helped him out with the music equipment that I had, that I let him use. And then when I left, I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm leaving the music equipment. So I'm just going to start over. Once I started over about 6 months later, and several more months into the year, I recorded a shit ton of projects in 2016. Put them on all, boom, 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 boom. Internet went nuts, physical copies went stupid. The first physical copy, it was really great to a good professional level, was Psycho 2016. A lot of people loved that project, and it got some really great feedback to where people come and saying, this was the best thing I've heard. This was the best thing that I have heard for a while. And with today's music, that's been going on for the past 5 years, is the new recreation of trap music And then you go into the last 4 years with drill music into that South trap music sound. Now, everybody, those that listen to me know that I'm a very, very creative person. I love creativity. I believe in creativity. That's what I personally believe in. I believe in the freedom of letting the artist have that. And we'll get into that discussion with the drill and trap mixed in together with today's trap music and the problem that I have with that. Because I want to get my ear out the way. However, people were wanting more. So then I came out with what I would consider my masterpiece right here. Is Straight Outta Columbia. Now, when I released this, you had a lot. I felt, though I didn't know, I felt first and foremost, one, I'm very confident what I can do. My skill, artistry, the engineer work. I felt very confident with myself in that. When I put it out, I had doubts for a while. I've had doubts that people may have thought, well, oh, it's going to be too much like Straight Outta Compton from NWA. Well, no, it's street, but it's my stories, to where you hear a lot of the sadness, you hear a lot of the blues, some jazz. And when it comes to that, I have respect amongst the older peers that are jazz musicians in the jazz bands. They hear that sound. They hear it. I get deeply greeted. A lot of love towards me because of that. And I love that. And there's offers that I've gotten to where, hey, come perform with us for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I want you to open up for me. We'll talk about pay. We'll talk about it. But I want you. Oh, come on, man. I want you to come open up for me. And these are jazz musicians that, they did want to pay me, but they had to figure that out because they were still going. And some of these jazz musicians in their 60s. So they've been doing music for a while. But a lot of places where they performed at, I would felt like God stick out because you got like a lot of older people there. Music I do, they don't understand it. But it was still great. People loved it. People was like, I kept on getting it because, bruh, drop more. Drop more. I'm like, man, I don't know. Luckily, I have a connect in Nashville. Sometimes some CDs from that. Boom. From the past several months that went by from this year. But we're not going to get into that, at least not yet. Followed up by a street classic that I dropped. Seatown's Keeper 7. This was a street classic. But I felt, though, as if it got a little bit bigger than Straight Outta Columbia. Those that listened to the project that I put out from Seatown's Keeper 7, it made a lot of people feel like they were in a movie. How I made it. And I made it intentionally for that. But yet again, pointing towards my point of view on things with my stories. And I have plenty of stuff to tell about. And with that being said, it's, there was a conversation that was brought up. What's your masterpiece? I love Straight Outta Columbia. I love Seatown's Keeper 7. But what's bring up more? What is being brought up more? I feel though as if maybe Straight Outta Columbia is being brought up more because somebody kind of did their own here in town. But but they're not well known. But I really felt like that. I know they listened to mine, and I really felt like they were trying to rip me off in a way, kind of like, I'm gonna copy off him, blah blah blah, and have it trying to be better. But you're stealing something that I already done. That you're not doing that. I'm sorry. So I had to clown that on social media. A little video I put out, and we'll get more into that because I put out another version. Like the one that came out 2016 was the studio cut version. In reality, it was supposed to be out 2015, and it wasn't, because I completely forgot about it. And not to mention some of the songs that didn't make it onto it that I was recording for it. Like, I was recording a good amount of songs. The original cuts from 2015, from some of the songs from late 2015 to 2016, the ones that didn't make it on it at all, point blank period, will be on a 2-disc set. Will be coming out, I think, in May, maybe May or July, and we'll get more into that discussion, to where when the time comes, it's gonna have the same cover art that you guys seen with the black and white one, and then when I get to the colored version, because I put out a colored version of it of this year, but it's gonna have different text on it to let you guys know, hey, this is the original cut from 2015. Then you have the songs that didn't make it on there at all from 2016. It is gonna have that on there. But those are my two great projects. I really love them. But to me, I'm not in the singles market. I'm not in the singles market of music. I have never been in the singles market of music. I don't believe in it. If you're constantly, yet again, and we'll get to this discussion, but if you're constantly chasing a single your entire life, trying to chase that hit, then you're never going to get farther in your career, what you're trying to do, if you keep chasing that. Because eventually, guess what? You may put out a song. Who's checking for it? And we'll get to that. Then from after that, put out War Angel. This didn't catch on very good, but it's one that I cherish. This is one that I enjoy as well. Then, from there, from almost the end of 2016 was Stand By Me, which I really loved. This is the redone version. When I originally did this was in 2015, yet again, when I was with Creekwater White, I didn't feel like I had creative freedom of it. So I was like, you know what, scrap the shit and just fucking redo it when the time's right. And that's what I did. That's clearly what I've done. For the wrap up the year from 2016, end of the year, this was in a shorter period of time, which was Sea Townskeepers 8, 1999. Loved it. Loved doing it. So just from those ones alone from 2016 was great. Now we have the ones that were released digitally, because I did release some digitally as well that was on SoundCloud, that also did great when it comes to the plays and, the streaming, things like that. Excellent. So now we get into 2017. Begin off the year with 2017, man. Did my first pop project. A little bit of hip hop in it, though. Was released in February. I didn't know this year for me music was going to be this great, because there was so much music just put out. And my schedule is this, I like putting out a new project every month. That's what I do. Every month, because we live in an era, it's known as the fast food era of music, where you put out something new, the person wants to come right back around the corner, let's see what else you got. And I put out Bad the Mixtape album. I thought people may have not took this seriously, but it couldn't it just gone like that. I can't even really describe, but it was just gone. Just so fast. I just couldn't keep it up. They wanted more. They wanted more. To where offer came, Eric came in and was like, hey man, I got some people, man, that I recorded. You know what I'm saying? I want to put a CD out. And he wants to kind of work out something in the future with me, to where we want to do something with music, just sell the music, kind of like a little shop thing. And that's still in discussion. I'm going to go, if it does, I'll be part owner of that. I'll go into that. But That's that's not something that's full yet. That's not all the way the full circle thing. But I guess he's being inspired by the stuff that I do, how I put out music, and he knows that I buy the materials and I take everything out of my pocket to get these made up, and they go quick. And he wants me to do some stuff for some artists, and I can haven't gotten to that point or that level yet. I want to first meet these people, and I need songs, and work on a budget to figure out how much will be put out. And eventually time's gonna come where I'm going to want to just sell the music. I'm getting tired. After 8 years, I'm done. But from there, we go on to another project, which was Survive Until the Joy 90s Child, which was done for boy, I can't really for like an awake type of thing, like I got soul, this one was spiritual, this and that. And then I put out another street one, which was R.I.P. Creekwater White one. Just a lot of diss song towards it. And believe it or not, I put this on SoundCloud first, over 2,000 streams. And then when the physical came out, people wanted a bit more, and we're going to ignore that phone call. I hate when that happens. Is this still going? Let me make sure this is still going on this part right here. Okay, tapped here to stop. No, because we don't want to stop it. Yo, anybody on the Live Me app? Is this thing still streaming? Like, give me a sign for this. Send some hearts or write a comment, because that was the phone call, and I didn't know. So if it's still going, that's great. But anyways, that was boomed out. And to kind of wrap up that part, yet again I've left because I didn't really feel like I had creative freedom. I felt though as if some what stuff that I've done, that I felt unappreciated, and that he wasn't knowing who he was as a human being, from an artist to a human as a man, not even spiritually, physically, or mentally, to where now no one's really checking for you. I'm being honest. I'm not checking for you. And it's to the point now to where I really feel like you're labeling stuff as hip-hop music, but you're doing country, and that's clickbait. You can't be doing that at all. That's a big no-no, to where now, because of that, I think it's straight trash. Being completely fucking honest. Straight up trash. And this goes into this discussion right here, which I'll have. If you're constant, and this goes for any of the artists now, which will lead into the conversation of trap music a little bit later on. If you're an artist that's constantly chasing a single, won't chase a hit song, you're never going to have a successful career, because it's going to pass you up to where you may have songs, people might be listening, but they're not checking you out, to where after you hit that 5-year mark, even that 3-year mark, and you still don't have a project out at all, you faded away. Ain't nobody checking for that. Same thing goes with if you're 35 years old, 40-year-old, you're still doing hip-hop type of music or music in general, and you're still trying to chase a hit. Let's say if you have one project out. That project may be hitting for a while, for a month, but if you're not constantly hit, like we live in a fast food era now of music, but if you're not trying to really push yourself, really promote yourself, to where now you're just a label of some sort, even from a mixtape brand, where the hell are you doing? You have to be able to grow and expand. Because if you don't do that, you're going to fade away. It's better to burn out than fade away. I'd rather burn out than fade away. Because once you fade away, that's it. That is completely it. You need to stop chasing a single. Start, the hit song will come. If any, like, just do the music. That's what I just do the music. And so where I have conversations where people will pick out their best songs that they like from me. For example, I got a show coming up in January of 4th on Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Almost a 2-hour show. I teamed up with Isaac on this. We went through the music from some of the projects. He said, yeah, these are some of the best ones right here. I ran it through a couple other people. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. So it's good. So we got like a 2-hour list. Pretty much. Because, here's the thing. Going back, you have to find your sound. Me, I love the 80s hip-hop, 80s rock, 80s pop, 90s rap, 90s hip-hop, 2000s snap music. So I'm just doing the music. But if you're constantly chasing a single and you want to keep scrapping what you got, then you're not going to move anywhere. You're going to stay right there in that spot to where, look, no one's checking for you. What you're putting out is trash. You're too busy chasing a single. Guess what? You faded away. People done moved on. And if you ain't moving fast enough with it to put out, then what the hell you doing in it? So that's that discussion. Point blank period. From there, if you have... This is one thing I noticed before I show it. Posse. People that just have a crew, and if they ain't chipping in, then why the hell do you have them with you on your team? Why? Why do you have them with you on your team? If they're not willing to help, even if you have artists, put them people on. Don't look them as a threat. Put them on, and that's the problem with a lot of these older peers. I have love for them because we kind of, some of these ones that I have, certain relationship with outside of music. That's not even in music. But if you're talking about doing stuff for the youth or want to put some people on, you do it. Now, with me, there's a reason why I don't record people because, you're going to have the point to where, look, man, I have you booked, blah, blah, blah. If you don't show up, and if you keep on trying to book and not show up, that means you ain't real about it. That means you're not trying to do anything with it, so you're wasting my time. So there's an artist. She had a hard time getting left off the ground. No one's really wanting to put out her music with their CDs. So she hit me up. So I helped out Pooh with her stuff. Straight up and down. So I helped her out with that. Published it. Sent the CDs I got done for her. Boom. She makes a couple of bucks off it. Now later on, she wanted me to host it even more because she know I used to be a DJ. You know what I'm saying? So I did just that. But if you don't want to help people, then ain't nobody gonna help you back. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody wants to do what's best for you or what's best for them, because guess what? You're gonna have the people. Then you're gonna end up getting a bad reputation. You know what I'm saying? From there is when we get to this one right here, which was great because I sent these out some in Nashville as well, which was the colored version of Straight Outta Columbia, also followed by the special edited version as well, which is half black and white and half in color. Also followed up by some songs that didn't make it on to the 2006 Teen Studio cut version, which didn't make it on it. And because of that, that's why I put this one out. And going back to, like I said before, what I think sometime in May, probably July. Like I said, I'm putting out Straight Outta Columbia again, but the difference is this: I'm putting out the songs that I recorded for 2015 that was originally supposed to be for that project back then that did not come out. So that's going to be the first disc, and it's going to have the black and white cover on it because it's going to be a double-sided front cover. It's going to be in a case like this. It's going to be in a nice thick album case like this. And it's going to be the first half of the art is going to be this double-sided, art cover. It's going to be, the first part's going to be black and white. And those that have the black and white version know what I'm talking about. And on the side, it's going to say, the original songs from 2015. And then on the other side, it's going to have the colored version what you all see here, right there. Show that to these people right there. And on the side, it's going to have, the unreleased songs from the 2016 studio cut version on there. So that's going to be disc 2, and it's going to be a 2-disc set because I found cases that have the 2 CD things in it that hold it. So then you have that. I remember I did a little bit of cassettes for that, not so much, just a little bit. And that project blew up so much that I had the honor, got a plaque for it and everything. Great. I love that. It's a really wonderful project. Very great. And going back, like I said, I even did the thinner versions of it, where it's just like that. The little bit of the thinner versions of that project. And again, that was still very much great. From there, I put out my second pop album, and it's called Dangerous, and I'll be re-releasing Dangerous again in October of next year for Vanity Record Shop. And we'll get to some of these other projects coming out for 2018, because right here on my side on this on the screen I have a flash drive pulled up. Some were for this year, and some are for next year. A lot that's gonna cover it. So much of next year. So much. So that's just another release of something else I did that was a thicker cover. From there, even as an artist, one thing about me, when I go, I don't want to have any music left over. So I want everything out. And this is why I had stuff recorded from late of 2014, 2015, and I put out this right here, which was when I was learning the equipment and everything, just making the songs as crisp, as good as I could possible to my ability, which was the King of MC's 2-disc set. It left quickly over at High Fashion. There's still some copies left over at Vanity Record Shop here in the square. And I do also boom out my music there. So you guys can pick up my music there as well for I think $5 CDs at the most. So just go there and ask. I do advertisements for there too, for my music. So, I do that. So this was really, really great. Followed up by then, I remember I did something called the 90s mixtape when it came out digitally. And there wasn't a lot of songs for it. I mean, there was, but there was so much that I could only save that I went back, retouched up, that were decent, touched up, to whatever I could, and it did all right. It did all right. It did all right. There's still some copies left over at Vanity Record Shop and the Square for this. There's no more left over at High Fashion, but the 90s mixtape is something that I really wanted to do, that I was so passionate about doing, that I'm glad I got to be able to do that. I'm glad I got to be able to do that, and I felt it was great. It was really, really great. It was really something, man, and I appreciated it. Granted, those two projects, they moved slow. You're not always gonna have projects that are gonna move fast. You're gonna have projects that are gonna move slow. And then from there, from last October, man, we had a Psycho 2 2017 Demon Night. Boom. You just out the park with it. Always great, man. Always great. Then from there, I had something else that dropped over at Smokey's Tobacco and Beer here in town. It wasn't very many copies because most of it got sent out to Nashville with a little connect of mine, like I said, just to get some of my music out there in Nashville. Which any copies I had left were sent up to Nashville. And people can listen to my music in Nashville too, which was Romantic Kill. Sometime later on in the future, I will put out Romantic Kill over at High Fashion and over at Vanity Record Shop. But really this was just for, your local tobacco and beer place and stuff up in Nashville as well as that. From there, you get hit up to host, and yet again, so you have to put out a little bit of another versions to help people out, man. So even as a DJ, I hosted some people's stuff, did a little bit of different mixes that I could do, and cool, great. No one had, just really, really positive feedback from it. From there, not long ago, I put out Off the Wall, which was my third pop project as well. I loved it. Just like that, gone. Then I put some out digitally that I only got one physical copy made for myself, which was Universal Mind Quest. Now, there's copies already gone. There are still some copies left over. Isaac, I need you to put this on the shelf over there at Vanity Record Shop, my guy. People been asking. Which was C-Town, not C-Town, UGP 2, which is known as the Underground Prince 2, and I'm putting my new series out backwards, because followed up by next month, for next week, next month, right, for the first week of next month, I'm putting out the Underground Prince 1 and 3, because 2 and 1 were already put out digitally, was already put out very, very digital wise at the most, was put out digitally. Like I said, Underground Prince 2 was put out on hand hard copy already. There's no more copies over at High Fashion, but there's copies over at Vanity. Can't talk right now, shit, 'cause I've been talking so fast. Over at the record shop in town. Also, I put out some posters as well at that. So, like I said, 1 and 3 will be put out over at High Fashion and over at Vanity Record Shop as well here in town. So, there's that. So 2017, for the second half of the year, it was great. I had a great year in music. I can't say the same for everybody else, though. So this is when we get into the topic discussion of trap music. Early 2000s trap music, which was also known as snap music at the time. T.I., Jeezy, Gucci Mane, Slim Thug, Trick Daddy, Master P, were the co-original creators of trap music. Back then, it was listenable because you could enjoy it. Today's trap music, I can't get into it. Completely trash, man. Just completely 100% trash. Why? This is my problem. This is the problem. Chicago has drill. That's their sound. We have trap. Yeah, Chicago took trap sound, mixed it with theirs. It's like we took drill and mixed it with our trap music. Today's younger generation, to me, when you combine those two, it's straight fucking trash. Ain't nobody checking for it. Yeah, today's young kids may be checking for it. To them, it's hot. And it's not really made for older people like me. But I'm going to be known on my half. This shit is straight trash. How? Even going back today, you have people that may have been in jail for whatever, a long period of time. Or you had maybe people that's been doing music for so long now, 35 years old, 40, switching to this sound, still doing trap music in a garbage ass way. Ain't nobody checking for it. So why? Simple. After you hit your 3-5 year mark, man, because now we live in a fast food period of time when it comes to music, because we live in the fast food and music now. And if you're just constantly want to eat or go somewhere with that one song or that one project that's already had its 15 minutes of fame, and you ain't trying to do nothing else, you done. You faded away. Point blank period. Because who else is going to be checking for it? Who else? Nobody. You're done. One thing in music that I try teaching is this. Don't make a path that somebody else already took, because that path may not work for you. Don't take a path. Don't take a path that somebody else took. That path may not work for you. It's best to make a path for yourself, a path that works for you. Learn from others, learn from your own experience, mold your own, and go that way. Because that will work for you rather than you taking somebody else's path, and it may not be the same for you. But that's the problem, because even leaders are sheep. It's better to be a creator. Now, one thing about me, I feel like I influenced some here and there. I don't know how many. To where you have now a lot that's asking me for advice, wanting to go into music, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that go into that, I can't get you out there. I can't put you on. I can't guarantee that you'll have a success. But I can teach you. I can show you. I can give you some advice. You may not listen to me, but it's best to make a path, because the path that you make for yourself, your own path, may work for you. Because if you take somebody else's, which I'm seeing, and you're recopying the same copy and paste of music, that after 15 minutes, okay, I'm sorry, but no one else is going to be checking for it. They want to see what else you got. And if you ain't got nothing else, then you'll be considered done. You got some people out here that can't even last a week at the most. Comes and goes. And it's all the same shit. When you can't understand what they're talking about within the mumble generation, to where you have just constantly bullshit. I'm sorry. You have some music out there that's trying to that's trying to raise awareness of depression and suicide. There's a way to go about that, but how you're doing it within music, the way you making it sound like it's too influenced, then that's the problem. When you make it sound too influenced, you're gonna have a lot of the younger people that are now so naive and stupid that they're dying off. I'm against it. When you're not doing it properly, that's the problem. When you do it properly, you're straight, you're good. Then you have some that done so well before they were even on anything, to where now they're starting to bitch and complain, to where, see, now you ain't moving. Now you ain't going. This is why I stay to myself. This is why I only do music for me. I'll take that back. I don't do the label thing. I have my own brand. Jazzy Inc. is my brand. I got my own stuff to record with, so I don't have to use anybody else's. And I put out music at my own pace. I put out music every month. That's why I don't have to pay or owe anybody shit. Nothing. If I make back what I make back from it, I ain't got to split that. That goes to me at the end of the day. It really does. Because you can't fuck nobody over else but yourself if you're alone in it. I choose to be alone in it. Because of this, I have such a well-received listeners, supporters, followers, a fan base, that, guess what? They know they're going to be expecting stuff from me. They know I'm not in the singles market, and I got stuff just coming out. So this year for me was a great year of music. Wonderful year in music. I don't know about anybody else, but how I look at it, it was DoprTrash year. Now, for next year, it's going to be even bigger, because I got music coming out every month of next year. Like I said, there's 2 projects dropping next month coming up, which is Underground Prince 1 and 3. Physical release. The 3 is already out on SoundCloud digitally. But I'm gonna name because I got these projects dropping for every month of next year, so I'm just gonna name them. 931 to the 615 February. I also got a American Devil coming out. From there we got Chiller 3-disc set, compilation mix digital, re-release for Dangerous. Eclipse also dropping in February. Let's see. We got Psycho 3, Red Rain, Straight Outta Columbia alternate cut, the stuff that I was talking about, and that's actually the actual title for that. Straight Outta Columbia alternate cuts, and you guys will see why. We got Space 2, or no, Space 1, which was redone, so I got that also coming out. Let's see what else. Last of the Underground digital release. This is Street. Ritual as well coming out. And Standing single mixes as well. Now the only 2 months that won't have anything dropping, which will be August and September, because I'll be getting stuff ready for a release party over at Vanity Record Shop here in town in October, which we get into this discussion. Chiller is a new project, a 3-disc set, and like I said, it's gonna be a album music release party. So there's that. Followed up by the re-release of C-Town's Keeper 7, which will be in the thick, so where kind of like your thick CD cases. Followed up by the another re-release of Dangerous as well, which is going to be a double-sided 2 front cover. Then you got Psycho 3, Dead End 2018, which is another new project actually, which is a playlist but on CD form. Right? From there, you'll have Bad, the mixtape album re-release for cassette. And I'm also going to have some posters coming out as well. So it's going to be great. So that's what's going to be coming up with that one. But like I said, 2018, this coming up, it's going to be big. And sometime next year, I teamed up with somebody. They're making beats for me. And this person is going to be mixing, mastering, and be involved with this project and get credit for it as well. But even though I have the freedom to record it here, and I do own everything for this, that will be my final going away project for 2019, because I'll be stepping down by early of 2019, because after 8 years of music, man, you get tired. I'll be almost 30 years old. Eventually I'm going to want to do other stuff, man, not just stick to music my whole entire life. And that's what I've been doing, man. I've been journeying out into other stuff to see what I like, to see what I can do, to see, what I can, make from it, what kind of other stuff there is out there. And I'm always exploring. I've done the jewelry thing, I've done the t-shirt thing, the art game, you name it, Eventually, sooner or later, and like I said, talking about this, and even if Eric doesn't go through with it, who is my mentor and everything, an older gentleman, if he doesn't go through, like I said, man, he's being inspired by artists, not just me but others, to where he wants people out there. He wants to sell music, or eventually probably sometime in 2019, I may just go through with it all the way and sell music myself, open up my own shop. Which it gets to the point now, rather than doing the music, man, you just want to sell it. Being real, you're gonna just want to sell the music now, and that's what I want to do. Just sell the music now, and just see what else is out there, because like I said, eventually you're gonna want to move on to something else, and you're not gonna want to stick to anything else. And I do everything myself, from the producing, the writing, the recording, the lyrics, vocals, the mix, trying to master it, putting it out. So, I have my experience, in this, to where I can say this. For me, 2016 was a DoprTrash year. Next year going to be even greater for me in music. Then that's it. Cash myself out, collect my money, boom. Because you get tired. So it was a DoprTrash year for me, man. And music, really great. Can't complain. I loved it. And I'm out. If I can find the thing for this.